of the Spirit is joy, long suffering, um, meekness. And I looked up humility, meekness, and righteous anger. So like the Lord was angry with the wicked every day. He was angry over the injustices and evils in the world, which any of us should rightfully be, knowing that it's destructive for all involved. It will have a domino effect in society. So that being said, like I always think, how they say overcome evil by being good. So I always try to be the better person. I always think I don't feel like I'm being manipulated or controlled. Only a corruptible mind will feel like, because here I'm standing at the stance of being right inside the Lord, not right inside of men who believe that they're dominating my life. Because I don't live for other people. Love not the world, or love the Father not in you. What's the profit person to gain the world and lose his soul? So when people are living worldly, sometimes they become, like the Bible called it, the cunning hireling. They hire cunning men. So, you can become manipulative in those endeavors, so to speak. But me, I'm at perfect peace. I'm thinking, I'm not trying to gain the things they are. Never envy or be jealous of a wicked person. Why would I envy somebody who's living under their own duress, or betraying their own peace, living for all the wrong things that don't bring solace to their life? This is where I'm at with this. I'm like, and this is why I'm saying my mind is changing. That's basically the mind of Christ versus the delusional mind or the reprobate mind, where they start living under their own deceptions of what this world has adhered them to, being groomed by. Because remember, it says in the God of this world has blinded them from the truth, even their own truth. Like, you're not supposed to obtain things in this world. It shouldn't cause you destruction or chaos in your life or conflict. You're doing this, that's like it says, your own stumbling or your own conflict in your life should reprove you. That's the intricate design that the Lord made you up to be. We're like, wait a minute, this is bringing me conflict, not peace. So if something's an error, you should be able to acknowledge the error in your life. If it's behavioral and carnal sin or lifestyle, the behavioral will bring the lifestyle destruction into your life, because like I say, aggression, animosity, hatred, contention, resentment. And this is something I had to realize. Like, I had to forgive people when they wound me, like, because to harbor resentment, like the Lord calls it, they're bad gatekeepers. They shut the heavens for themselves, nor do they let others enter in. So when you have malice in your heart, like Judas, he had Satan dwelled in his heart, where madness, anger, hostility, rage, all those things. He betrayed he was not only other people's betrayer, because that's what the persecution comes from, rebellious people, but he betrayed himself of sound relationships, peace, love, longevity, where, conflict, the Lord should not, you weren't created to live in conflict. Long suffering is different from suffering. You shouldn't be suffering by your own hands, but some people are born into these familial bondages or curses or societal oppression. And that's why I talk about, like the Lord, I see through spiritual eyes, discernment. There are some areas in the world that are more darker than others because of crime, violence, degradation, demoralization. Those things can be taken into account of the captivity that people are in. Captivity, bondage, where they're not free in their own variables of life. The choices have been given to them, a product of their environment, or a victim of their circumstance. And you see this culturally, societally, and the Lord had showed me these things, like generational curses are more lifestyle and behavioral, where ancestral curses are more religious and cultural, where it's impeded upon you or implored against you at birth. These are variables that are given to you at birth, and so you become diluted in your way of thinking, like you're what do they say, free radical, or you don't have your own thoughts. Like the Lord says, your thoughts aren't my thoughts, your ways aren't my ways. Sometimes these are important to our life at birth. Like that's why the Bible is clear about don't worship the gods of your forefathers, or don't serve other gods. Sometimes we create a God in the image we want him to be in to justify the way we live our lives. That's why it says in the God of this world, Satan is the God of this world, and our flesh is governed by him. You have your father the devil, and the lust of your flesh you will fulfill. Sometimes our lustful desires, just like in King Solomon, and the golden calf was symbolic of evil desires. The desires of a man's heart controls his thoughts. Well, our desires can be changed by a directive of mankind. These are things to think about. What community guideline breaches? I haven't breached any community guidelines. I don't use profanity. I don't degrade other people. What community guidelines are we speaking of?